All right, Marcus. I was just thinking, real estate. It's one of those things everyone talks about, right? Like you hear about people making fortunes, but it always feels a bit inaccessible somehow.
Oh, James, absolutely. And you've hit on such a crucial point there. The perception, I think, is often that you need to be, well, already wealthy to even get a foot in the door. But here's the thing. More millionaires genuinely have been created through real estate than almost any other industry. And the best part? You really don't have to be a millionaire to start. Not at all.
Really? So it's not just for like the big-time developers or the folks with endless capital. That's good to hear, actually.
Not at all. Today, I actually want to break down five proven ways to make money in real estate. Some are active, some are totally passive, so whether you're just dipping your toes in or you've been thinking about this for ages, you'll walk away with like genuine strategies you can put into action right away. And honestly, James, stick around to the very end because the last one, creative financing, it could genuinely change how you think about wealth entirely. It's a game changer. First up, let's talk about rental properties. This is like the bread and butter of real estate investing. Truly, it's what most people immediately think of, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Buy a house, find a tenant, collect rent. Sounds simple enough on paper, but is it ever that straightforward?
Well, the concept is straightforward. You buy a property, you rent it out, and then you collect rent every single month. Ideally, that rent covers your mortgage, your taxes, insurance, any maintenance, and then, obviously, leaves you with a bit of profit, which we call cash flow. But here's the real magic, James, the thing people often overlook: equity and appreciation.
Equity and appreciation. Right, so your tenants are effectively paying off your loan, which builds your equity, and then the property value itself just goes up?
Precisely. Over time, your tenants are paying down your loan, and the property itself is likely, going up in value. Let's take an example. Say you buy a single-family home for, $250,000 with a 20% down payment. Your monthly mortgage, let's just estimate, is $1,200. You rent it out for $1,700. That's a $500 cash flow each month, or $6,000 a year, plus your tenant is helping pay down your loan balance. And the property might appreciate 3 to 5% per year. That's how ordinary people, like you and me, build wealth totally in the background while living their lives. It's powerful. And the best part is, once you've got one rental up and running, you can absolutely repeat the process and just scale into multiple properties. It's quite exciting, actually. But moving on to number two, house flipping. This is the strategy everyone's probably seen on TV, right? All those renovation shows.
Oh, absolutely. The dramatic reveals, the tight deadlines. It always looks incredibly stressful, to be honest. But I guess the money must be pretty good if people do it.
It can be. You buy a property below market value, usually because, well, it needs a bit of TLC, some work. You renovate it, and then you sell it for a profit. The absolute key here, James, is knowing your numbers. Successful flippers, they stick to what we call the 70% rule. You should pay no more than 70% of the property's after repair value minus the cost of repairs. So, if a property will be worth, say, $200,000 after repairs and it needs $40,000 in renovations, then you shouldn't pay more than $100,000 for it. That way, you leave room for profit, for closing costs, and, for those inevitable little surprises that always pop up. Flipping isn't passive. It's a full-on business. But if you enjoy project management and quick returns, it can be one of the fastest ways to generate really large chunks of cash.
Right, so flipping sounds like quite a hands-on, active approach then. A bit like running a small construction company almost. What's next on your list, Marcus?
Next up, number three, is wholesaling. Think of it, James, like being a deal maker. You find a motivated seller, maybe someone who's behind on payments, perhaps relocating, or, just has a property they absolutely don't want to fix up. You negotiate a contract to buy that property at a significant discount, and then, here's the clever bit, you sell that contract to another investor for a fee. You never actually own the property yourself.
Wait, so you don't even buy the property? You just act as an intermediary, effectively?
Exactly. You're just connecting the dots. Say you find a house worth $150,000, but the seller is willing to let it go for, 100,000. You put it under contract, then assign that contract to another investor for 110,000. You've just made $10,000 without ever owning the property. And here's the kicker, James. Wholesaling doesn't require huge down payments or mortgages. It requires hustle, marketing, and networking, but it can be one of the lowest cost entry points into real estate. It's super accessible. Now, number 4, REITs, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trusts. Maybe you're thinking, Marcus, I don't have the time or desire to deal with tenants, contractors, or all those negotiations. REITs are your completely hands-off option. REITs, right, are essentially companies that own or finance income-producing real estate. Think apartments, offices, shopping malls, big storage facilities. And you can buy shares of a REIT through the stock market, just like you'd buy, Apple or Tesla stock. And the best part? Many REITs pay out consistent dividends, which is just fantastic. So it's like investing in real estate without actually having to deal with any of the physical property management, just like buying shares in a company that does all that for you? Precisely. It's a brilliant way to get exposure to real estate if you're not ready to buy a property yourself. One of the simplest ways to get started, honestly. And finally, James, my personal favorite, I have to say, creative financing and notes. This is where you really stop thinking like a landlord and you start thinking like a banker. It's a whole different mindset.
Oh, interesting. Thinking like a banker. So, what does that actually mean in practice? Like, are we talking about becoming a lender ourselves?
Yeah, essentially. One option is seller financing. Let's say you own a property free and clear. Instead of selling it to a buyer who gets a traditional bank loan, you finance it yourself. The buyer pays you monthly plus interest. You're collecting steady payments without managing tenants. It's like, holding the mortgage yourself. Another option is buying and selling mortgage notes. A note is simply the IOU attached to a property. It's the legal document that says someone owes money on a house. Investors buy these notes at a discount, and then they collect payments from the borrower. So with these notes, James, imagine if a $100,000 mortgage note is being sold for $80,000, and the borrower continues making, say, $1,000 monthly payments. You earn the difference, plus interest over the life of that loan. You're basically the bank, with the property as your collateral. It's pretty neat, honestly.
Wow, so you're actually stepping into the shoes of the lender then. That sounds like it requires a fair bit of specific knowledge, though, to navigate all that.
It absolutely does require knowledge and networking, but it's such a powerful way to generate passive income streams once you get the hang of it. So there you have it, James. 5 powerful ways to make money in real estate. We've got rental properties for that steady monthly cash flow and building equity, house flipping for those quicker, high returns, wholesaling for a really low-cost entry into the business, REITs for totally hands-off investing through the stock market, and then creative financing and notes, that advanced strategy that genuinely lets you act like the bank.
That's incredibly comprehensive, Marcus. I mean, it's not just about buying a house and hoping for the best, is it? There are proper, distinct strategies for different approaches.
Exactly. The key isn't to try all 5 at once. Pick one that matches your goals, your time, and your resources, then master it. If you found this breakdown helpful, seriously, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below. Which real estate strategy would you start with today? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.